attachments of clavicle bone. So before learning the muscle attachments, so what is clavicle? Let us again recall what is clavicle. So the clavicle is nothing but a collarbone, extends between the manubrium of sternum and acromion of scapula. So this classed as a long bone, as you can see, it's a bridge between the acromion process of scapula and manubrium sterni of sternum. So it can be palpated along its length. So we can palpate this bone along with its length, and in thin individuals it is visible under the skin. The people who are thin, it is visible very clearly under the skin. So the clavicle has three main functions. So how many functions are there clavicle? There are three main functions of clavicle here, as we have seen in last class. So this is an attachment, first function of clavicle, next protection, next transmit force. So these are the three functions of clavicle. First, attachment is the upper limb to the trunk as part of a shoulder girdle. So it is attached to the upper limb to the trunk as a part of a shoulder girdle. Here it is this side at the lateral end the upper limb is present. At the medial end trunk is present. That means the sternum is present. It acts as the shoulder girdle, and it acts as the attachment between the upper limb and trunk. So next, protection. So next function is protection. So it protects the underlying neurovascular structures supplying the upper limb. So what are the underlying neuromuscular structures are present here? Neuromuscular structures supplying the upper limb, it will protect them. So next, transmit force. So what next? A third function is transmit force. So from the upper limb to the axial skeleton, so it will transmit the force from upper limb in the sense the arm, upper arm, forearm, shoulder, scapula, hand. This all parts are called as upper limb part. So from there it transmits force to the axial skeleton. So it acts as a transmission force to the axial skeleton. So we shall look at the anatomy of clavicle, its bony landmarks and clinical correlations. So as we have learnt, the clavicle consists of three parts in the last session: lateral, shaft and medial part. So next we are going to learn about the muscle attachments and ligaments which are attached to the clavicle. So as we know that clavicle is a horizontally placed bone in the human body, in the upper part of human body. So as we can see here, there are the two muscles which are present on the lateral side of clavicle. Their muscle name is trapezius muscle. As we can see, this is a trapezius muscle and deltoid muscle. These two are the muscles which are present lateral side of clavicle. So here is a conoid tubercle. As we have seen, this is a conoid tubercle, and this is shaft, and this is sternocleidomastoid muscle on the superior part of on the medial side and the superior part of clavicle, we have, you can see the sternocleidomastoid muscle, and the inferior part of clavicle in the medial side only. You can see the pectoralis major muscle, which is present in the pectoral region of human body. So next muscle is subclavius muscle. As you can see here, this is the subclavius muscle, which is present on exactly on the shaft. This is subclavius muscle. So next, these are the muscles which are present on the clavicle. So next, ligaments. So first we are going to learn about the acromioclavicular ligament. So acromioclavicular ligament is nothing but the ligament which attached from acromion process of scapula to the clavicle is called acromioclavicular ligament. So the ligament which attached between the acromion process of scapula to the clavicle. This is acromioclavicular ligament, present on the lateral side, distal side of clavicle. So next, trapezius ligament. So here we have seen in last class there is a line called trapezius line is present. So on this trapezius line there is a trapezius ligament is present. So this trapezius ligament combined with the conoid ligament. Conoid ligament, where is conoid ligament? The conoid ligament is present on the conoid tubercle. So this trapezius ligament and the conoid ligament both combine to form a coracoclavicular ligament. Understood? Coracoclavicular ligament. Coracoclavicular ligament, from where it comes? So from clavicle to the coracoid process. So here I am going to write coracoid process of scapula. From the clavicle to the coracoid process of scapula, this ligament is going to be. So this ligament we call it as coracoclavicular ligament. So next, here is a small tuberosity is present, which we call it as costal tuberosity. Here also one ligament is present, which we call it as costoclavicular ligament. So from clavicle to the first costal cartilage, under clavicle there is which one is present? The first costal cartilage is present. So from clavicle to first costal cartilage, first costal cartilage, there is a one ligament is present, which we call it as costoclavicular ligament. So these are the muscle attachments and ligaments that attached to the clavicle bone. So as we have seen, clavicle bone is horizontally placed in the human body. How many clavicles are present? 2 clavicles are present in human body. Between the shoulder blade, it is a shunt between the shoulder blade and sternum, manubrium sterni. They both joined, they both are attached and forms a clavicle. So it is also called as a collarbone because it is present near the collar. So how many what are the muscles are attached? Deltoid muscle, trapezius muscle, subclavius, pectoralis major, sternocleidomastoid, and etc. How many ligaments are there? Acromioclavicular ligament, which is present between the coracoid process of scapula and clavicle. Acromioclavicular ligament, which is present between the acromion process of scapula to clavicle. Costoclavicular ligament, which is present between the first costal cartilage and clavicle. So conoid tubercle, from the upwards of the conoid tubercle only the coracoclavicular ligaments passes. So in this, shaft plays a major role in clavicle because shaft acts as a origin and insertion of many muscles. Okay, so this is an overview of clavicle. So we have learned some general features of clavicle, muscle attachments, where it is placed, and ligaments that attach it to clavicle, and so on. Thank you so much.